Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. Let's talk Smackdown. And as ever, you know I like to talk non-title first. So obviously we'll have the King and Queen tournament happening, where each brand has 8 superstars, 2 Fatal 4-Way matches for both the men and women. Raw had 1 Fatal 4-Way match for the men and 1 Fatal 4-Way match for the women. Smackdown decided to put them all out there. Smackdown decided to have 2 Fatal 4-Way matches for the women and 2 Fatal 4-Way matches for the men. Let's get into the first women's one. We had Nia Jax, we had Jade Cargill, we had Piper Niven, and we had Michin. Jade Cargill got the win. That seems right. Seems like the only person who should be getting the win there. Obviously, Piper Niven and Michin aren't at the level yet to win that. And Nia Jax won it last year, so it wouldn't make sense. So Jade Cargill is the right winner, and she will be facing the woman who won the first triple threat match, first Fatal 4-Way match on Raw, Roxanne Perez, in the semi-finals. Then later on the night, we had the second one: Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Candice LeRae, and Alba Fire. It was meant to be Chelsea Green, but Chelsea Green had a thing where she said she couldn't get there, and she entered on a FaceTime, which was actually quite a funny segment. And then instead, Alba Fire got put in that place. This doesn't matter because Alba Fire's just as good in the ring, and neither of them were going to win anyway. But before the match, Alexa Bliss was getting a bit of an interview when Charlotte Flair walked past her and said there can only be one queen, and had a bit of a stare down. Then the ending of the match was where Charlotte Flair had Alba Fire in a figure eight, and then while they were in the submission, Alexa Bliss hit the Sister Abigail DDT on Candice LeRae and took the win. This led to another stare down between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I mean, obviously, they've been building something, we don't know what it is yet, between Alexa and Charlotte over the last few weeks, where Alexa has been talking to Charlotte a lot, and we don't know if they're building a friendship or a rivalry. Who knows, but they're building towards it. That's the important part. So now Alexa Bliss is in the semi-finals against whoever wins on Monday Night Raw, which is Raquel Rodriguez, Ivy Nile, Oscar, and Stephanie Vaquer. The obvious winner there is Stephanie Vaquer. She's the only one that can win that match, which tells me the semi-finals will be Jade Cargill, Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, Stephanie Vaquer. And what I like this year is the semi-finals are Raw versus SmackDown. This means the finals can either be a Raw versus SmackDown, or can be a SmackDown versus SmackDown, or a Raw versus Raw. That's better because normally the tournaments are Raw first round, Raw semi-final, Raw finalist, SmackDown first round, SmackDown semi-finalist, SmackDown finalist, and it's a Raw versus SmackDown every time in the finals. This is good because this switches it up a bit. The Fatal 4-Ways is already switching up, and now having the brand versus brand semi-finals is way better. How I predict it so far going is I predict Jade Cargill beating Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Vaquer beating Alexa Bliss. And I don't know who I'd pick to win of Stephanie and Jade because I can see them both having a match at WrestleMania. I can see Jade facing Tiffany at WrestleMania at SummerSlam for the Women's Championship, where Naomi would cash in, take the title, eventually leading to Jade Cargill taking it off her later down the line. But I could also see Stephanie winning and taking on Io at SummerSlam for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. So you never know. As for the men's on Monday, Sami Zayn qualified, and we now have, on SmackDown, we had Randy Orton, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black. All these men are talented, all these men deserve it, but the only two men I would have thought were right for winning it would be LA Knight or Randy Orton. I mean, Aleister Black's talented, but he's not got the stardom, he's not got the main event play right now. Carmelo Hayes just won the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal and should be getting pushed, but he wasn't able to qualify for Money in the Bank. I don't see why he should be able to qualify. Well, it should be able to advance in King of the Queen of the Ring when you've got names like Randy Orton and LA Knight. LA Knight is slowly becoming a main event star and becoming up there, but he got cost a match from Seth Rollins' faction because after the cost him at Money in the Bank, he got involved in on Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins and that. So Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker cost him this match. Randy Orton hits a countered RKO to Carmelo Hayes and wins the match. This seems right. So we have Randy versus Sami in the semi-finals. That's where I'm a bit iffy about who wins. Because the second Fatal 4-Way match on SmackDown was Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade. Banger match. But Cody Rhodes gets the win. The only one out of them that made sense. Now the Raw match, there's Rusev, there's Sheamus, there's someone else who I can't remember, and then there was the mystery opponent. Adam Pearce announced the mystery opponent as Jey Uso. This is bullshit. Let me tell you why. I don't think they're winning that match anyway. I don't think that mystery person is winning. I don't think Jey Uso is advancing. Let's be honest, right? So, if Jey Uso is in that match just to lose, he's just in the match for screen time. He's just in the match to have a match. Jey Uso's won the Royal Rumble. He's won the World Heavyweight Championship. He's been busy all year. He's worked his arse off. Just lost the title. Give him a break. He doesn't need to be in this match the following week trying to advance in the King and Queen tournament. He doesn't. He doesn't. Put Karrion Kross in there. They're going to lose anyway. It's not going to change the tournament, but it gives Karrion Kross some screen time and some ring time, something WWE are not giving him. They've given Jey Uso plenty of that. Not saying he don't deserve it, but I'm saying Karrion Kross deserves it more. He's a better character than Jey Uso. He's better in the ring, better on the mic. And that's no shade to Jey Uso. That's just the talent that Karrion Kross brings that WWE don't recognise or are purposely spiting now because of the movement Karrion Kross is trying to make. I just think it's stupid to put Karrion Kross in that place. I'm not someone who rides the trends of what wrestling fans are going through. Like, I'm not going to start shouting we want truth because everyone else is doing it. I agree with it. But I'm not one to be like, oh, let's just complain so much that we can get what we want. No. But I completely see it. I completely see it. Why are they doing that, Karrion Kross? Do you know what I mean? And putting Jey Uso in as much stuff as possible, meanwhile minimising what you can do with your other talent as well. It's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Regardless, I see Cody Rhodes going to the final. Whether I see Randy or Sammy going to the final, I don't know. Here's my ideas. If Randy beats Sammy, we'll get Randy versus Cody in the final. That would be pretty fucking cool, wouldn't it? Which is when we'll get the SmackDown versus SmackDown. In that case, I would see Cody winning because I see Cody challenging John Cena at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. If Sammy was to beat Randy, I could see Sammy beating Cody. Again, that's another match we want, another dream match we want. Because I can see Sammy challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. So I think both those matches are going to happen anyway. I don't care which way it happens. I'll be honest, as long as it's Cody in the finals against Sammy or against Randy, and it's Sammy or Cody who wins the tournament, I'm absolutely fine with it. That's where I lie with that. As for the Women's United States Champion, Zelina Vega, she went backstage, talked to NICHOLLZ, and she said, give me Julia, because obviously Julia attacked her last week, and conveniently Julia wasn't there. So we're developing somewhere in the Zelina-Julia feud. I like this, because I can see Julia winning the title and Julia elevating it to new heights. It's not too early for Zelina to lose that title. It's really not. She's had a decent run, and I think, especially when they've got divisions that they're not using or they're not utilising properly, they should probably do frequent title changes and keep it exciting. You know, you don't want to keep a dead title on someone who's not got that much hype. No offense to Zelina Vega, it's how WWE book it. It's not Zelina Vega's fault, but the title is not the most exciting title, and Zelina's not the most exciting person, not because of her, but because of WWE's booking. Keep passing the title around like they did, like Chelsea Green never deserves to lose it. Do you know what I mean? But Zelina Vega's also talented, and so is Julia. Pass the title around, give everyone an opportunity. So I definitely think they're developing that, and they should, which is good. We finally heard from Jacob Fatu after Money in the Bank, and he turned on Solo Sikoa. He came out, cut a promo, and then Solo was on the big screen, and he said, look, Jacob, because obviously Jacob was referencing, you know, you claimed you made me, but you didn't. I won this. You got to get in where you fit in. Solo was on the big screen. He said, look, I brought you in to WWE. And he said, I'm willing to forgive you. Do you know what I mean? You let your feelings out. You know, you got angry. It is what it is. You cost me Money in the Bank, but I'm willing to forgive you because that's what family do. But then he said, don't forget that I brought you in, I brought you out. I like this feud between the two. I really do. And I think SummerSlam's probably the match for it. And it's probably the match to elevate Jacob Fatu to new heights. I think Jacob should hold the United States title for a while. I mean, we've got quite a few main event players. LA Knight's just moved up to the main event picture. We don't need to fast track Jacob to the main event picture. We really don't. Let him dominate the mid-card. Let him dominate it. Because you know what? He's bringing eyes to the mid-card. Everyone loves to see Jacob Fatu. Let him dominate the mid-card. Let him beat Solo. Don't have Solo take the title and move Jacob up to the world title division. What are we doing? What are we doing? Do you know what I mean? Too quick, you know, you can take your time with some people. So I think Jacob should beat Solo whenever they face off. But I'm just liking the feud. I'm wondering when or if Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are going to come back and who they're going to side with. I don't know. And what I'm liking now is that Jacob Fatu's not with the Bloodline anymore. Can we get a Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso partnership, friendship? Obviously, they are family. Maybe that somewhere down the line, that would be pretty cool. As for the tag title picture, obviously, Street Profits, Fraxium, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, they were all attacked by the Wyatt Six. And over the last few weeks, they've been deliberating with NICHOLLZ. How do we get back at the Wyatt Six? How do we deal with the Wyatt Six? And they've all been nominating each other to go deal with it. You know, last week, Fraxium tried to nominate themselves, and DIY are like, yeah, you go do that. But this week, NICHOLLZ said, you know what? I've made my decision. Motor City Machine Guns, as the veterans, you should go and set the standard. So we got a match between the Wyatt Six and Motor City Machine Guns. So Wyatt Six are back in action. They got the win. Pretty decent match. Obviously, next they're probably going to go after the DIY or Fraxium and eventually going after the tag titles, which I think the Wyatt Six should win. Because again, when you've got such a hot division, a bunch of talented tag teams, all those tag teams deserve to be tag team champions. And look what they did last year. DIY had the belts. Then Bloodline won them shortly after. Then Motor City Machine Guns won them shortly after. Then DIY won them shortly after. Then the Street Profits won them shortly after. It makes sense. Keep passing them around. Do you know what I mean? Have Wyatt Six win them. And then Wyatt Six can kind of dominate with them a bit and establish himself as a dominant faction. Eventually, they might pass them off to someone like Fraxium. That's when Fraxium have that underdog moment. Do you know what I mean? That would make a lot of sense to me. So I think Wyatt Six eventually will go through all these other tag teams to get to Street Profits, and they'll get there. Probably at SummerSlam. I can see having the Wyatt Six at SummerSlam would be a big move. People want the Wyatt. People want Wyatt, anything attached to Wyatt. Do you know what I mean? WWE have let the WWE Universe down multiple times with Wyatt storylines. To have the Wyatt Six would be good. Like, they need to see that. So, Wyatt Six at SummerSlam for the tag titles would obviously be amazing. Don't know if we got much. Oh, we did get something from Tiffany Stratton, actually, which was weird. Naomi came out to cut a promo about her being Miss Money in the Bank and whatever. That's when Tiffany Stratton came out and they were having a bit of a promo because obviously Tiffany Stratton cashed in on Nia Jax when Nia Jax was in a match for the title against Naomi. And Tiffany took the title technically away from Naomi. And now Naomi's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. She could get revenge on Tiffany because Tiffany's got the belt. And Tiffany said, cash it in right now, let's do it tonight. And Naomi said, no, I'm going to do it when you least expect it. That's when Nia Jax attacked Tiffany Stratton. Obviously, she was frustrated after losing the match and whatever. And now, obviously, most people will probably react to this like, oh, we've had enough of Tiffany Nia. Tiffany won the belt off of Nia. And then just like last month or whatever, we had another Tiffany Nia match. This was just to create the image of the three people again, where Tiffany cashed in and won the belt. This is to create the image showing Naomi's going to be the one to cash in and take the belt. And there was the opportunity there, but she didn't take it. And obviously this is going to be the story, the running story. And I know she's going to take it, not when... Well, she's going to take it off Tiffany Stratton, but not when Nia Jax is there, when Jade Cargill's there. That's when she's going to take it, I believe. Or when Bianca Belair's there. That's what I believe. As for the WWE title picture, a lot happened. John Cena opened up the show, and he cut a promo talking about how he outsmarted everyone, and how he announced his retirement tour early, like 6 months before it started, so he had time to study everyone. And he described how he went through everything and how he smartly did it, and how he knew his stardom and the prestige of his final year would get him a spot in the chamber, so he declared a spot in the chamber. He knew CM Punk and Seth Rollins' feud would boil over and cost the pair of them, so he took his advantage there. He knew Cody would be too distracted with The Rock, so that Cena could take a shot at Cody, and he knew in the build-up to the Cody match that Cody would be too focused on being a good guy and being liked, that Cena would be able to take advantage and take the title, which is what happened at WrestleMania. So it's good that the reference in this, I don't know if they're building off of WrestleMania or this was the plan all along, but it's working. And then, yeah, the whole stuff for R-Truth. He said he made R-Truth relevant. He put R-Truth in the main event, and now they're all chanting, "We want truth," and it's because of Cena. Then we got Cody Rhodes coming out, cutting the promo on John. Randy Orton come out, and he said, "I had you beat at Backlash, and if it wasn't for R-Truth, I would have took the title, and that's when Randy Orton said, I will do anything to get my shot with you at SummerSlam, and he looked at Cody and said, I'm sorry, I love you, but if that means I have to go through you, I'm going through you. Which is when we got LA. Well, obviously, this is already great because we're getting Randy and Cody back facing off with Cena. It's not done. We've got the three of them all involved. That's when LA Knight came out. Obviously, LA Knight coming in the main event picture, and that's a match we'd want to see. LA Knight, John Cena, obviously. But this was right before his match with Randy Orton, and he said he'd take on absolutely anyone to get that title. He's not bothered about feuds or nothing. And he had a couple of punchlines at Cena. And when they're all declaring their shot at Cena, Cena just leaves the ring, walks away, and he goes, none of you are worth my time and whatever. Then R-Truth comes out, and I forgot to mention, God, I'm itchy. I forgot to mention on the Raw review about R-Truth, standing on the announce desk, saying, you know, he's not R-Truth no more, he's Ron Killings. And obviously, he's still titled R-Truth and whatever. But he says the truth has set him free, and it's time to put some respect on his name and whatever. And he cut his hair off. So he's this new version of himself, essentially. And he came out and attacked John Cena and whatever for him. That's when the next clip was seen of Cena was Cena arguing with NICHOLLZ backstage. Obviously, a very dramatic and, you know, cheesy argument, but it happened nonetheless. Then we had Cena searching backstage for R-Truth. He walked up to Jimmy Uso and he said, where's R-Truth? And Jimmy's like, I don't know. Because obviously Jimmy's been friendly with R-Truth in the whole build-up to the John Cena match, and he's been talking a lot of shit about John Cena, and John Cena's just fought his brother. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of significance there, and I can see a match happening somewhere down the line. And he went, I don't know. And Cena went, well then, where's Ron Killings? And he goes, I don't know. And Cena goes, I know you're close, so tell him I'll be in the ring, meet me out there, and let's fight. And he went back out again. This was his second appearance out in the ring in the middle of the night. And then, who answers the call? CM Punk from Monday Night Raw. So everyone's gunning after Cena. Everyone's gunning in. CM Punk, he says, you know what? You've been asking for truth for so long. I'm going to give the truth. I'm going to give the truth. And he said a bunch of stuff. I'll relay some of the ones I can remember. He said, you know, me dropping these punchlines at you, because he said something about what he was wearing, whatever. He says, I sound like PJ John Cena. And you saying you're going to win the title and run away with it and ruin wrestling, you sound like CM Punk. Which was crazy because we're all thinking that. We're all thinking that back in the day, Punk was the heel, but he was secretly loved by the people. And Cena was supposed to be the corporate man who was the good guy. And he was trying to stop CM Punk from running away with the title. CM Punk beat him and run away with the title. And it was at Money in the Bank 2011. That's why we wanted the Punk-Cena match in 2011 at Money in the Bank. But this time, Cena is the heel who's trying to run away with the title, and Punk is not necessarily a corporate man, but the man of the people who's trying to keep it. But see, people still secretly love John Cena. And then CM Punk called him disrespectful for putting himself on the Mount Rushmore, because in his earlier promo he said the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. It's actually how he opened it up, weirdly. He just says John Cena, John Cena, John Cena, John Cena, which is fair. He's not wrong. Cena's definitely on the Mount Rushmore. And then CM Punk said, you know, that's for people like Terry Funk and Bret Hart and Eddie Guerrero and whatever. Named a bunch of wrestling legends, but Cena should definitely be on the Mount Rushmore or whatever. And he called him disrespectful and whatever. And then he said something about... you know, people lie to a strong man to insult him, which is why he finds him calling him a hypocrite insulting, because CM Punk's a strong man, and lying to him is just you tell a strong man a lie, he just gets insulted, because it's like, why you lying? And then he said, you tell the truth to a weak man, and they don't like it. And that was him referencing Cena. Regardless, we've got some build for CM Punk and John Cena. Cena was on about dragging CM Punk out of Saudi Arabia to fight him, because CM Punk wants that fight, and CM Punk doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. Punk was like, hell, I'll go to Mars to fight you. I'll go to hell to prove I'm better than you. The promos are cooking. John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, CM Punk. We've got a big feud with 4 of the best promo artists in the game. I mean, come on. It's unbelievable stuff. But eventually, when CM Punk walked out, it was R-Truth again, jumping John Cena, hitting him, shaved head and everything. He's a new version R-Truth, and he put Cena in the STF, and that's when R-Truth said the truth hurt. No, CM Punk said the truth hurts. And ironically, obviously because truth was hurting Cena, that's the punchline. But also, ironically, well, also the punchline was because he was telling Cena, I'm laying some truth down here. And he was making lots of points on John Cena, and he's saying, that hurts you, doesn't it? But ironically, Punk was standing in the position, Seth Rollins was in an elimination chamber, Cena's in the position, R-Truth was in an elimination chamber, and R-Truth's in the position John Cena was in an elimination chamber. CM Punk is making John Cena feel what he felt when Cena took advantage at elimination chamber. The poet, it's poetic, it's beautiful. I mean, I love the promos. I watch WWE for the promos, let's be honest. I mean, matches, honestly, a lot of time you look away, look at your phone, whatever. But the promos are just on point. And I couldn't say that about this episode of SmackDown. Normally, episode of SmackDown, 3 hours, it drags. This was rushed because there was that many segments, that many matches. We had 4 Fatal 4-Way matches. Fatal 4-Way's got to be my favourite match type. It's got to be. It's amazing. Banging episode of SmackDown. And at the end of the show, NICHOLLZ was getting mad at R-Truth. And R-Truth said, do you know what, you want to make it better? Give me John Cena next week. And we've got it. We'll get John Cena, R-Truth next week on SmackDown. John Cena fighting on SmackDown. Where was this on March 28th in London when I was fucking there? He wasn't even there. He was there on the Monday after on Raw, even though you're the WWE champion and supposed to be drafted to SmackDown. You were there on Raw in London, but not on SmackDown London. Bullshit. But whatever. We're getting Cena fighting on SmackDown. This is amazing. This is amazing stuff. And I feel like his last successful defense is going to be against CM Punk at Night of Champions. And then he's losing that belt at SummerSlam. Regardless, love the episode of SmackDown. Absolute banger. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.